After getting the usual "that's normal" or "just take the pill" from gynecologist, I thought, F it, and took matters into my own hands. Through my research, I discovered effective ways to manage my PMS symptoms, and I want to share these with you so that by the end of this video, you'll understand key insights that most women, sadly, are unaware of throughout their lives because it rarely gets real talk. By the way, if you're new here, my name is Ina. I'm a former overweight depleted patient turned holistic nutritionist focused on women's health. And my biggest dream is that you get to experience the same life-changing transformation I did. But before we jump into the solutions, let's talk about what's actually going on with PMS. Because I know social media makes it seem like those crazy sugar cravings and emotional roller coasters are just part of being a woman. Well, they're not. Look, just because tons of women deal with these symptoms doesn't make them normal. And while everyone's pushing their magic PMS teas, what we actually need to understand is what's happening in our bodies. So let's break it down, starting with what is actually PMS, or PMDD, which is a more severe form of PMS. While PMS affects about 90% of us ladies with manageable symptoms like bloating, moodiness, and fatigue, PMDD is less common, impacting only 3 to 8% of women and takes symptoms to another level. Women with PMDD experience severe mood swings and anger to deep depression that can seriously disrupt their daily lives, making it difficult to maintain work, relationships, and social connections. Both conditions begin 1 to 2 weeks before menstruation, with the key distinction being the intensity of symptoms. So along my journey, I learned that everything contributing to these symptoms involves a complex interplay of factors. And the primary hormones involved are estrogen and progesterone. During the luteal phase, the levels of these hormones fluctuate. Estrogen drops after ovulation, and if pregnancy doesn't occur, progesterone levels also fall just before menstruation begins. These hormonal shifts affect important neurotransmitters, especially serotonin. Now, since serotonin is the feel-good chemical that helps regulate mood, sleep, and appetite, well, guess what happens when serotonin levels drop? You become more anxious, emotional, you may have trouble sleeping, and you become hungrier, especially for carbs, since eating carbohydrates helps boost serotonin levels. At the same time, disrupted sleep throws off your hunger hormones, increasing ghrelin, the hormone that makes you hungry, and decreasing leptin, the hormone that makes you full. And that's actually normal and healthy to be a bit hungrier, since we need about 300 extra calories around our period to support our body's processes. However, if you're experiencing intense cravings that lead to constant overeating and binging on unhealthy foods, that's not normal. It's a sign that something's off balance. But being hungry isn't even the worst part, honestly. Those terrible cramps are something no one needs, really, and Mother Nature didn't mean to torture us that badly every month. It's when estrogen levels are too high that cause your uterine lining to become abnormally thick. The thing is that progesterone normally helps regulate this by stopping the excessive thickening and preparing the lining for a potential fertilized egg. But when there's not enough progesterone compared to estrogen, your uterine lining gets too thick. When this thick lining breaks down during your period, your body makes more prostaglandins than usual. Those are natural chemicals that are needed for uterine contractions during menstruation. But when there are too many of them, they trigger intense cramping, nausea, and even diarrhea. So it's not normal. It's your body and hormones responding to how you're caring for them. And to help them respond better, we need to focus on restoring and maintaining the delicate balance between estrogen and progesterone rather than just masking the symptoms with quick fixes. And that's where it gets really interesting. 2 key players you may never connect to PMS are responsible for breaking down excess estrogen. If they aren't functioning optimally, too much estrogen remains in your system longer than it should, creating this imbalance that we do not want. And the 2 key players are your liver and your gut. Yeah, I was surprised too when I learned that. The liver breaks down excess estrogen, and your gut contains a special bacteria that also help break down and regulate estrogen. And when your gut health is compromised, these bacteria can properly process estrogen, leading to buildup. Now, this problem becomes worse with conditions like the leaky gut syndrome, where waste products leak back into your bloodstream. Your liver then has to work overtime to remove these toxins. Now, unfortunately, many of us really do have suboptimal liver and gut function without realizing it, since these issues don't always cause obvious pain or discomfort, right? But your body has ways of sending you signals. If you're experiencing persistent acne, frequent colds, disrupted sleep patterns, mood swings, constant bloating, or digestive issues, these are all red flags indicating that your liver and gut health need some more attention. But the tricky part is that these symptoms can be so gradual that we often dismiss them as normal, when they're actually signs of deeper imbalances in our detoxification and hormone processing systems. And one of the biggest culprits behind a dysregulated hormone balance and suboptimal liver and gut function is something that most of us experience daily and have gotten used to too. Something we also dismiss as normal because it's become so routine. But in fact, it makes everything in your body go haywire. When you're chronically stressed, your body continually produces cortisol, the stress hormone. And now you need to know this: progesterone is needed to make cortisol. So your body steals progesterone to maintain high cortisol levels, as these are needed for survival. Hello, estrogen dominance. With prolonged stress, your body doesn't have any chance to maintain hormonal balance. Now, this is further complicated by factors like lack of sleep, a poor diet, exposure to environmental toxins from plastics and pesticides, and excess body fat, since fat cells both produce and store estrogen, leading to higher levels. All of this creates yet another harmful effect on your body. Inflammation messes with your thyroid at its finest, potentially leading to hypothyroidism. It disrupts your ovaries, affecting hormone production, and interferes with your adrenal gland's ability to regulate stress hormones. Now, this creates a vicious cycle where inflammation triggers hormone imbalances, which in turn create more inflammation. Now, the effects can be far-reaching, impacting everything from your energy levels and metabolism to your reproductive health and emotional well-being. All these causes are really symptoms of how your body has been treated, both by yourself and your environment. And when I say environment, I mean your experiences growing up, especially during childhood and teenage years. Early life challenges and trauma play a huge role in healing, not just emotionally, but also physically. I personally went through some really difficult experiences as a child and teenager, and the chronic stress on my body from these experiences triggered my nervous system to go into survival mode, causing it to shut and slow down certain mechanisms. My nutrition wasn't great either, which likely led to numerous deficiencies, since stress depletes the body of essential nutrients. Looking back, the hypothyroidism and other hormonal imbalances I developed as a teenager were probably a result of this perfect storm of stress and nutritional gaps. Your body is incredibly intelligent and adapts remarkably well to whatever conditions you put it through. Now, let's put your body through some practical, natural solutions. While we can't change our past experiences, we can take responsibility for our health today. And the first solution, it's something so obvious, yet so many people struggle to get it right. Not because it's complicated, but because we bombarded with way too much contradicting information. You see, our body needs 47 essential building blocks to function properly. And if you're missing even one of these 47, things can start to go really wrong. I'm talking about nutrition, not just eating healthy foods, because let's be real, so many women think they're eating healthy, but when we actually check what's going on, I see huge gaps. Because healthy eating isn't just about throwing in some veggies on your plate and calling it a day. It's about giving your body exactly what it needs to function optimally. And far too many women don't, especially when it comes to protein, more specifically amino acids, the building blocks of protein. And when it comes to hormonal balance, these amino acids are non-negotiable because guess what? Progesterone, the hormone that keeps PMS symptoms in check, needs them. And speaking of things we've been wrongly told to fear, let's talk about cholesterol. So many women avoid it like the plague, yet hormones are literally made from cholesterol. Your body can't even produce estrogen, progesterone, or testosterone without it. Then there are other key nutrients that play a crucial role in reducing PMS symptoms, and most of us are deficient in them. Take magnesium, for example. Almost every woman I've worked with is running low on it, especially if they've been under chronic stress for a long time, which, let's be real, is basically everyone. And nutrients deficiencies don't just happen because you're eating the wrong foods. You can become deficient if you're not eating enough. Hello, years of dieting. You're chronically stressed because stress depletes key nutrients fast, or your gut isn't absorbing nutrients properly because gut health and hormones are besties. So let me be straight with you. If you're dealing with PMS, chances are you're not just missing one of the 47 essential nutrients. You're probably deficient in several. And magnesium is just one of many nutrients women tend to run low on. Here are some more big ones. Iron, B vitamins, especially B6 and B12, zinc, vitamin D3, omega-3 fatty acids, and certain amino acids. I mean, men are like, yeah, give me that steak, and women are over here nibbling on celery. If you're not eating enough food and the right kinds of food, you're actually making things worse. Salads alone will make you sick. Your body needs variety. And yes, sometimes supplementing is necessary, especially if you're in a calorie deficit trying to lose weight. By the way, if you're curious about my personal supplement choices and the reasons behind them, feel free to leave a comment below. I'll make sure I make a video about that. Now let's get to solution number 2. As I mentioned before, I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism when I was around the age of 16, while dieting like crazy and dealing with a ton of stress. And guess what? No one asked me the right questions. No one asked me how often I ate fish. No one tested me for selenium, iodine, or other key nutrients. No one even considered what else I was taking. Funny thing, around the same time, I started taking birth control, which, surprise, surprise, compromises thyroid health. Meanwhile, my sleep patterns were a disaster. I'd be up until 2 a.m. playing Sims because creating a life without bullies and with a sunset every night felt way better than real life. My circadian rhythm was completely wrecked for years. And what did I do? Prescribed me L-thyroxine. Spoiler alert, it wasn't the solution. My symptoms stayed. I still felt like crap. It wasn't until my late 20s that I finally took full responsibility and started learning about how the human body actually works. And guess what I found? Your thyroid plays a huge role in PMS. What a surprise! And no one talks about it enough. Your thyroid produces T4 and T3, but here's where it gets interesting. T4 is inactive. It has to be converted into T3 to actually do its job. Now, where does this conversion happen? In your gut and your liver. Sound familiar? Yep, because these organs are also crucial for hormone detox. If this conversion sucks, you end up with low T3 levels, and guess what? That messes up everything, including your hormonal balance. And here's where it gets even more relevant to PMS. Low T3 levels can cause symptoms that look exactly like severe PMS. Blood sugar crashes and cravings, anxiety and depression, feeling cold all the time, stubborn fat that won't budge, messed up sleep cycles, high cortisol, and stress intolerance. Recognize any of these? Exactly. And here's another huge connection. Low thyroid function can lead to low progesterone levels, and low progesterone worsening PMS. So yeah, your thyroid isn't just about metabolism. It's a key player in hormone balance and whether PMS is manageable or a monthly nightmare. The problem is that most doctors prescribe L-thyroxine, which is just T4. Problem? If your body can't convert T4 to T3, properly, you'll still feel like garbage no matter how normal your labs look. This is why so many women on thyroid meds still have PMS symptoms and in general hypothyroidism symptoms. Your body isn't getting enough active T3, so it's still struggling with blood sugar, cortisol, estrogen detox, and progesterone production. For many women, desiccated thyroid hormone, which includes both T4 and T3, works better, but lifestyle still plays a massive role. Instead of relying only on meds, you have to fix the underlying issues affecting your thyroid and hormone balance. You have to support your liver gut, so T4 actually can be converted into T3. You have to optimize nutrient intake, iodine, selenium, zinc, B vitamins, and magnesium. You gotta get outside in natural light to reset your circadian rhythm. And you gotta sleep like your hormones depend on it, because they do. And of course, lower stress, because high cortisol wrecks your thyroid and progesterone levels. And that doesn't mean to avoid stress, because quite frankly, stress is everywhere, but you need to learn to manage it. So you see, thyroid health and PMS relief go hand in hand. Now let's get to solution number 3, and that's something that when I work with women and we're actually talking about it, I often hear things, well, I'm not stressed, or I don't have time for sleep. If that's what you're telling yourself, then no wonder you're dealing with PMS and maybe other health issues. Let's be real, chronic stress isn't always the kind of stress you notice. As we already talked about, it sneaks up on you, lurking in the background, messing with your hormones without you even realizing. And most people think stress is just feeling overwhelmed, anxious, or burnt out. But stress isn't just what you feel, it's what your body experiences. And many stressors are invisible until they pile up and smack you in the face. Here are some sneaky everyday stressors that might be wrecking your body without you even realizing it. It's, for example, environmental toxins like chemicals and pesticides. They stress out your liver, making hormone detox harder. It's electromagnetic smog. Constant Wi-Fi and screen exposure messes with your sleep and nervous system. It's too much caffeine, which overstimulates your nervous system, increasing cortisol. It's high sodium intake that can lead to water retention and high blood pressure, making your body work harder. It's lack of exercise, because no movement, no stress relief, and that tension, it just builds up in your body. It's relationship issues. It's noise pollution. It's even something like poor posture. Sounds silly. Try standing up straight. Slouching signals stress to your nervous system. It's just the way it is. Now, do you still think you're not stressed? Listen, we live in a world where chronic stress is unavoidable unless you actively do something about it. You see, your body has 2 main systems controlling how you respond to stress and relaxation. The sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight, that increases heart rate, pumps out adrenaline. It's great for survival, but terrible when it's stuck on high alert 24/7. Then there is the parasympathetic nervous system, that is rest and digest. It calms your body down, slows your heart rate, supports digestion, and helps you recover. The problem, most people are stuck in fight or flight mode all the time. And that's when, if you rarely activate your parasympathetic system, your body never truly recovers. Poor sleep, shallow breathing, overstimulation, lack of nature, and all the hidden stressors we just mentioned, they keep you locked in high cortisol mode. And this is where things get really interesting, because that means chronic stress leads to low progesterone leads to PMS hell. So yeah, stress doesn't just make you feel bad, it's actively making PMS worse. Now, quality sleep activates your parasympathetic nervous system, aka your built-in recovery mode. Now, I'd suggest you watch this video next if you want to bring your sleep to the next level. And until next time, take care of yourself, because your health is your greatest wealth.